Hi one and all. So in the previous class, we learned how we can able to download and install UiPath Studio to our local machine, right? So please keep in your mind that try to use the link which I have sent through WhatsApp group to download the exe file for UiPath Studio, and then make sure that your system has been connected to internet while installing UiPath Studio, right? And we took a simple example to understand the environment provided by the UiPath Studio, right? So we just at a high level we look at these panels which has been provided by UiPath Studio in the previous class, right? So today's class objective is I will explain you how to relaunch the installed application, particularly UiPath Studio on your machine, and then after explaining that, I will explain you practically the doubt which has been arised by one of your friend in the last class. I will say that doubt once again here in order to give the clarity. The doubt was whether we can use single quote to define a string, and my answer was no, you can't able to use a single quote to define a string. You have to use double quote itself, right? So first I will prove that with the same application which we took to understand the environment of UiPath Studio in the previous class, right? After that I will complete the last component of the first unit called task recording, which is once again an important feature in order to build robots using UiPath Studio. So after installing UiPath Studio onto your machine, you can't find any shortcuts either on the desktop or on the taskbar to launch that application, right? So to solve that problem, so go to search program option, then just type UiPath, then you will get an what I can say, a shortcut to launch the application. Again, if you want to reduce this task, again if you want to relaunch again after some time, then you can either pin to a start program or to the taskbar, or just you can right click and you can choose this as pin to start or taskbar as I said, or open the file location, and then you can right click on that shortcut, then you can send it to desktop. So after doing this, you close this window, then you can find a shortcut here in the desktop to relaunch or to launch the application whenever you want. Then double click on this to launch the application. If you don't do this, even it also work, but what you have to do means again you have to go to search program here, and then again you have to type UiPath Studio here, then you click here to launch the application. Otherwise, if you want to make your job simpler, as I said, right click on this, go to choose open file location. There it will highlight the shortcut which is used to launch that application. Then right click on that, then choose an option called send it to desktop. So whenever you launch the application, you will get a welcome message or a welcome window like this, where you can access the tutorials and free training here, and videos which will teach how to use UiPath Studio or learn RPA technology. If you want to have this window every time, uncheck this box, or if you don't want to see in future, then check this box. Let us uncheck this box, and we shall choose close option. Then as I said, this is the recent window where we can able to see the recent project that we have created, right? This is the project that we created in the last class. I want to relaunch this. Just click on that project name or a process name. Then it will take time to bring that application to UiPath Studio. So initially you will get a window like this. If you want to see the designer panel, see, can you see a XAML file here? See, this is a XAML file which has been developed by Microsoft people. For the time being, understand this is used for designing purpose or to get a designer panel in UiPath Studio. Actually, XAML stands for Extensible Application Markup Language. It is an XML based language. Okay, then double click on this XAML file. Then you can see your workflow or the designer panel. See, correct? This was the process that we developed in the last class, which was welcoming us by printing welcome to RPA course in the output window, right? Correct? Okay, now as I said, first I will prove that every string here has to be defined by enclosing them within double quotes. Right, now I am putting a single quote here. Okay, then I will try to run this program. Yeah, it is a, now can you see an error here? Okay, what is the description of that error? Compiler error or errors encountered processing expression welcome to RPA course expression expected, or else even an interesting feature of this is even can you see icons here, something not or exclamatory operator. Even if you put the mouse pointer here, you will get a description about that error. So whenever you get these icons on the activities, then you can say that, oh, there is something error, and if you want to go through the description, you can click it here. Okay, again, if you want to solve this problem, go back here, then enclose that string value by double quotes. See, automatically, see, it is doing compilation automatically behind the scene. Okay, then again run this. Now you should not get an error in this case. Yeah, now can you see an welcome to RPA course message in the output panel? Okay, then now our project has 0 errors. So this is how you can able to identify the errors very easily using UiPath Studio, and you can able to solve it. Okay, with this I will go back to the last component, as I said, of unit 1, called task recording. We shall see, or we shall understand at an high level again what is the use of task recorder, right? See, as the name itself says, the job of task recorder is to record the execution steps done by human being on the application running on the computer to fulfill or to complete the task. Why it has to record? So once this steps has been recorded, then we can place those steps in the designer panel as a sequence of steps to perform this task. So clear? So the job of task recorder is to record the task done by human being on the application running on the computer. Okay, I will give a simple example. For example, assume that the user wants to open a notepad by clicking an icon on the taskbar. For example, I will show you. So let us assume there is an icon here. Icon here to launch the notepad application. What is the human step here? He has to come over here, then he has to put the mouse pointer over here icon. Let us assume this atom icon as a notepad icon. Then he has to click this icon in order to launch the application. These are the steps that usually human being will do in order to launch the notepad application, by assuming that notepad icon or shortcut for that application is present in the taskbar. So these steps will be recorded by can be recorded by the task recorder. Okay, and then we can able to play back those tasks with the help of robots. This is what the job of task recorder is. Okay, and interesting thing is this recording can be done in two ways. One is the manual way and the other one is automatical way. We shall see this in depth in the coming classes, how we can able to record the actions performed by human being manually, and similarly we shall see how we can able to record the actions done by human being on the application running on the computer automatically, and then we shall see the difference later in the coming classes. Clear? Okay, and with this we shall move forward. We shall see how many types of recording that UiPath Studio will support. So in 2019 version, these are the 4 types of recording which was supported by UiPath Studio. Now in 2020 version, there is one more recording type called computer vision. For the time being, don't worry about computer vision. Now we shall focus on these 4 types of recording supported by UiPath Studio at a high level. As the classes goes on, we shall see when to use basic recording, when to use desktop recording, web and Citrix, as the classes goes on practically. Clear? Okay, now we shall go with the very simplest type of recording which is supported by UiPath Studio called basic recorder or basic recording. So as a author, basic recorder is used to record the activities on the desktop, it seems. See, activities is nothing but actions. So don't get confused with the activities is different from actions. See, these are synonyms with respect to RPA technology. Okay, basic recorder job is to record the actions or activities performed by whom? Performed by human being on the application running on the desktop PC. Okay, see, when you can able to use this type of recording whenever you are dealing with the simplest workflows or single activities. I mean, if you want to automate the task which has only simple steps like single steps or two steps, then you can go for basic recording. Clear? And the author says the actions here are self-contained and not contained in a separate window. Okay, don't worry about this for the time being. So make it simple. Here you don't need any separate windows in order to specify the action in case of basic recorder. So I will come back to this example in the coming class. I will execute this practically in the coming class. Don't worry about this example. See, what we are doing in this example means we are first here we have recorded the action of clicking this notepad icon on the taskbar. Then after we are focusing the type area, okay, or the editor area of the notepad. Then after that we are recorded the action called maximize. Then we are recorded the action of closing the notepad by the human being. Don't worry about this. I will practically explain how to have these actions one by one in the UiPath Studio in the coming class. Clear? Okay. The bottom line of basic recorder is the job of basic recorder is to record the actions or activities performed by human being on the application running on the computer. It's clear? And when you can use basic recorder, when your job is or aim is to automate the task which has only a small number of steps. Make it simple. Clear? Okay, next we shall move to another interesting type of recorder called desktop recorder. As the name itself says, the job of this recorder is to record once again to record the activities or actions performed on the desktop or a personal computer. Okay, then what is the difference between basic recorder and desktop recorder? See, the job of desktop recorder is to automate multiple actions, it seems, or to deal with complex workflow, it seems. Simple. See, basic recorder is used to automate a task which has small number of steps, and whereas desktop recorder is used to automate the task which has multiple actions or complex number of steps in the task. Okay, and another difference is here as I said, no separate windows will be used here to specify the action, right? But here a window called attach window component is used to specify the action. I will tell you what is this attach window, how to get this attach window once again practically in the next class. Clear? Okay. Then there is one more type of recorder the UiPath Studio will support called web recorder. As the name itself says, the job of web recorder is to record the actions or activities on web applications and browsers. Clear? Okay. Then the last type of recorder supported by UiPath Studio is Citrix recorder. See, basically Citrix recorder is used to record the actions performed on virtual machines or virtual networking computing or generally Citrix environments. Make it simple. Citrix recorder is used to record the actions on virtual computers, right? And this recording allows us to record keyboard actions like pressing enter key or shift key. You can able to focus on text data, and you can able to focus on image data also. Clear? Okay, interesting. So please you need to keep in your mind about this. There are some actions or generally I can say actions are categorized into two types. One is recordable and non-recordable. As the name itself says, recordable actions are the one which can be recorded by UiPath Studio. Like example, left clicking on a buttons or checking the checkboxes in the browser or in the application. Then dealing with drop down list, other GUI elements like minimizing, maximizing, closing the window, and text typing is also recordable. Text typing example is I will show you. I mean, I will give an example here itself. Okay, text typing means like let us assume this is a browser, and you have in the address bar you have typed gmail.com, then obviously you will get a beautiful UI where it will ask for to enter the username here, and then when you clicking on the next it will ask for password, right? Okay, this text typing means what the user will type in this text field or in the password field can also be recordable. This is what the meaning of text typing means, recordable means. And now we shall see another category of actions that falls under non-recorded. So the keyboard shortcuts like something like F3 or F4 or mouse hover means moving the mouse over an GUI element and right clicking on a particular window and using two more keys like Control Alt Delete or Shift Alt Delete can't be recorded. But keep in your mind that even these things can be recorded by some other way. Okay, I will tell you in few minutes. So which is that way where we can able to record even these actions. But these actions generally falls under recordable actions. I will tell you why these actions are generally falls under recordable actions. See, another way we can able to classify or list types of recording. One is automatic recording and the another one is manual recording. As I already said that there are two types of recording here. One is I already mentioned here that steps can be recorded either manually or automatically. Based on this, they have classified types of recording as automatic recording and manual recording. As the name itself says, automatic recording is which will record multiple actions at a time or on a single go. And how we can able to achieve this? Okay, by clicking on the record icon available. Okay, I will come back to that later. See, there will be an icon called recording here. This is the 2019 version. We shall see in 2020 version in the next class. When you click on this recording icon, then it will display the options. Whether you can go for basic recording or desktop recording or web or Citrix recording like this. If you want to go ahead with basic recording, click on this. As you click on this type of recording, the respective actions or I can say buttons will appear in basic recording window. These are nothing but the operations like click operation, type operation, copy operation, and you can focus on text, image. These are the operations which are supported by basic recording. And if you choose desktop recording, then the respective operations will be displayed in a window labeled as desktop recording. Similarly for web, similarly for Citrix recording. This is how UiPath Studio will work. Okay, I hope you understood about where you can get or from where you can start recording options, right? Okay, then remember that Citrix, we learned that Citrix recorder job is to record the actions on virtual machines, not on the desktop, right? See, this recorder will not support automatic recording, it seems. Means then which type of recording will be supported on Citrix recorder? Manual recording, obviously. But Citrix recorder will automatic recording will not work on Citrix environment or virtual environment. Okay, and last, a few types of actions can't be recorded, it seems, using automatic mode. Which are those? Hotkeys, shortcuts, right click, double click, and few more. We shall see in the coming classes. So this is the drawback of automatic recording. It will not work on the virtual environment, and few operations or actions can't be recorded in case of automatic recording. Now we shall go with the manual recording. As the name itself says, the job of manual recording is used to record a step at a time. A step at a time. One step at a time. Then if you need one more step, then again you have to record again. So this is how manual recording will work. And interesting thing is, it can record all the actions which can't be recorded using automatic recording, it seems. Like shortcuts can be recorded here, and mouse hover action can be recorded here, right click and keys such as Control Alt. All these actions can be recorded in manual recording. This is what I said when explaining recordable actions, non-recordable actions. Don't think that non-recordable means it can't be recorded at all in UiPath Studio or in RPA platform. These actions can be recorded by using manual recording, but this can't be recorded by if you are going ahead with automatic recording. That's what you need to understand over here. And there are a few shortcut keys which has been provided by UiPath Studio or environment in order to make your job simpler. If you while recording, if you press F2 key, then it will process your recording task for 3 seconds it seems. And again, timer will also, you can able to see timer which is running on UiPath Studio also. I will show you this practically. And if you want to exit the recording, just right click on the UiPath Studio, then it will exit the recording activity. Then again, if you use escape key, even escape key will exit the recording. And again, if you press the escape key again, then that recording which you have done so far will be saved in your workflow. So this is what about shortcut keys of UiPath Studio. And don't think that only these are the shortcut keys that will be provided by the UiPath Studio. There are many other, but as you go on, you will be familiar with the other shortcut keys. So I have explained this environment, I mean how you the user can go for recording, and particularly in recording how they can go for a particular type of recorder. And as you choose a particular type of recorder, the corresponding operations supported by the recording will be displayed in a separate window. Then finally we shall see how we can able to deal with the input and output techniques while automating the task. I mean, make it simple. Which are the input methods that are available in RPA technology, and output methods that are available in the RPA technology. So the input methods, first we shall go ahead with the input methods. So input usually will be given in the form of a text, and it can be given in 3 ways. One is the default way, and one is simulate way, and window message way. We shall see practically how we can able to provide text as an input in the default way, simulate way, window message in the next class. Okay, output methods. Again, remember at a high level, you can say that you can able to output, I mean you can provide output from your task in 2 ways. One is text way, or in is image way. Make it simple. You can have 2 types of outputs over here. One is you can have either text as an output or image as an output. If the task is displaying images as an output, and if you want to extract some text on the images, then you can use these techniques like optical character recognition or full text retrieval or native methods in order to extract text from images. I will give an example in the coming class for this. You no need to worry about this for the time being. The bottom line is you can able to provide the input in the form of a text, and you can get the output either in the form of a text or images. And text can be provided as an input in 3 ways. One is the default text you can provide, or you can simulate it, or you can through the window message you can provide the input to your task. Okay, and the output is, as I said, either text or images. In case of images, if you want to extract the text present in the images, you can use either native method, full text method, and OCR method. Okay, we shall see how we can able to use this, and their what I can say advantages and disadvantages in the coming classes. Clear? Okay, and the last activity that I have to do in the unit 1 is I need to demonstrate a task, or I need to implement what I can say a simple robot which will perform an activity or a task or generally a process on the local machine. Clear? With this I will conclude this session. In the next class we shall talk about how we can able to build a simple robot, what is the approach. Okay, in the next class. Okay, before concluding this, just I will have a recall. What we learned here is we learned that practically strings. Before that we learned how to launch that installed application on the local machine. Then we learned single quote will not work on the string, only double quote will work. And then we learned task recorder. The main job of task recorder is to record the task, and there are 2 ways to record the task. One is manual way and the one is automatic way. And then we learned different types of recording supported by UiPath Studio, namely which are those basic recording, desktop recording, then web recording, and Citrix recording. Then we understood these types of recording at a high level, and we learned where we can able to launch recording option in UiPath Studio, but practically I will explain in the coming class. And then we learned different types of we learned input method and output methods that is available in RPA platform or UiPath Studio. right? Then as I said, in the next class I will deal with or we shall build a simple robot which will do a particular task or process on the application. With this I will end this session. If you have any doubts with respect to this, you can ask me either through WhatsApp or through email. So thank you one and all.